To enter categories, we need to begin in the Manage Grades tab. So let's go over to Manage Grades. And here we have a brand new space. There's nothing going on. We want to enter our categories manually. And let's take a look at that word categories. When we create new, we have two options. We can either create a new grade item, and that's the individual mark, or we can create the category. Category is a loaded word, especially for those of us in Ontario education, because we have associations with growing success. Category in grades is not the same thing as categories in assignments. If we go to assignments, we might see that there are different categories there. Those two categories are not the same thing. It's just an unfortunate reusing of the same term. For us, category is what are our bins going to look like? What are the containers into which we will be putting grade items going to be called? And for many of us, it will be KTCA. So if we're using a KTCA setup, we will begin with often knowledge. And we come down here and we have the opportunity of plunking the weight in. We can always change this afterwards. We can always change it afterwards. If you want to add a short name, we can call this KU. Down here, the weight for this particular class is 25%. Remember, we're dealing with out of 100, not out of 70 anymore. So we're looking at the total adding up to 100. We have some options for distribution of the grade items inside these categories. And maybe we should talk a little bit about that right now. There are three different ways that grades tool allows you to distribute the weight. You can, one, manually assign the weight to the items in the category. So that is for every grade item that we plunk in, we are going to decide what it's worth. What is the weight? The second option is to distribute the weights by points across all items in that category, which means whatever you make the out of score. So if it's 9 out of 10, then that 10 is what determines the weight of that grade item. So you'd have to give higher out of scores for more substantial assessments. And then the third option is to distribute the weight evenly across all items. Sometimes people will do this for labs or discussions where you just want, this is my labs or my discussion section. They're all going to be worth the same. Just automatically do that for us. But for us, we're going to say manually assign the weight to the items in that category. I'm going to leave this blank. I'm not going to display the class average to the users. I'm not going to display the grade distribution. And down here, we have our default that I've selected for this particular class. If I wanted to override one of those decisions, I can just click this, and then I can adjust like that. But we are going to save and new because we're pressing on. So we've done knowledge. Now let's do thinking and inquiry. And we can often call this TI. Slide on down. Again, in this particular class, we're looking at 25%. Keeping all of this set, that's fine. Save and new. Communication comes next. Communication, we're going to call this C. We'll scroll down to this 25%. Save and new. One more. That is application. Testing myself with my typing skills. I'm calling that A. A for excellent typing. 25%. Save and close. And now, once this refreshes, we'll see my categories are all set up. My knowledge, thinking and inquiry, communication, application. I could probably change this to knowledge and understanding, but you get the point. We have all of our categories set up, and here are the weights, and they total 100%.